before the idea caught on elsewhere, our values still hold and pupils are disciplined. It is our greatest hope that they will always live up to the school motto, which incidentally is the motto of all infant Jesus schools throughout the world. Simple in virtue, steadfast in duty. Remember that? Now, I think for that to really nurture us, even as we are now, we really need to go back to history to understand what it means to be simple in virtue and steadfast in duty. So we just have a very quick slideshow. As you can see, that was the government house that we saw, and that was the first property that was purchased by the sisters when they came from Belgium, and it was turned into a novitiate, which is a place where they train the young girls before they became nuns. Okay, we can have the next one. Now, that is the other side, where we always see it as the private school girls. And that was the original bungalow for Princess Light. And it was also the seat of government for Penang when the East India Company took it over. Next, thank you. So that's been converted to our needlework room and our cookery room. Yep, next, thank you. All right, let's move on to the next one. Look at the sisters. This was the early sisters that came to our school. You know, they left their country, and the youngest would be in their 20s, like 22. The oldest would be 30. And they came and they took in all the babies. You might want to see the next few photos. All the babies that were left at our school and the orphans, they looked after them, and during the night they would sew to collect money to feed them. So that was their life, their sacrifice, that they've left the school to do it for, you know, practically strangers. So you can see that they used to have boarders. Okay, next picture. That's the first class boarders. They were paying students from wealthy families, from Perak and Perlis and the royal families, and from Thailand. Second slide, thank you. And these was the second class boarders. They were from ordinary families. Okay, keep going. Now, you can see all the orphans now. Next, thank you. And that's the, you know, the orphans that were left, the babies that were left in baskets and in blankets, just outside the school. Yep, next, thank you. I remember that. Next, thank you. Thank you, next one. Now, these boys were called the Abbey boys. When they grew up, they were actually brought over to St. Saviour's for the brothers to care. So you can see there's a long history of caring and loving for children. And when you think about our motto, it makes it that much special. Next slide. That's the original well. There were actually two wells, as you know from our tour. So that's one of the ones that Francis Light done, one for himself and one for the public. Okay, next. Some of you might not have seen this. Those of you from secondary, if you hadn't grown up in the primary school, these are actually, we had POWs from a submarine that was captured by the Japanese, and they were imprisoned in our school because our school was a base for the Japanese army, and they used their belt buckles to carve out their names. So next, thank you. It's become a shrine. Next, thank you. That's the. And some of the survivors, I think there were only 4 survivors from the same crew, because all the rest didn't survive under the hands of the Japanese. That's all the slideshow. I just want to talk